Hello, my name is Louise and I'm head teacher at St Joseph's Catholic Primary School in Worcester. I'm excited to be able to read this chapter to you from God Speaks to His Children. I'm going to read chapter 61 today, which is called Jesus' Rules of Life. You know the commandment that states, "Do not murder. Whoever kills another is liable to judgment. Now I tell you, whoever is angry with his brother is liable to judgment. If you are on your way to bring a gift to God and you remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift before the altar, turn around, be reconciled with your brother, then come and offer your gift. You know the commandment that states married people must be faithful to one another. Now I tell you, whoever covets another woman or another man in their heart has been unfaithful. You have learned, love your neighbour and hate your enemy. Now I tell you, love your enemies and do good to those who act against you. When you do that, you are children of your Father in heaven. He lets the sun shine on good and bad alike. He sends rain on the just and the unjust. Love your enemies, help them and lend them what they lack, even when you cannot count on having it returned. God will reward you. You will be his children, for he is good even towards the ungrateful and sinners. Be merciful just as he is. Do not judge one another, and God will not judge you. Do not condemn anyone, and God will not condemn you. Forgive one another's debt, and God will forgive you. Give, and God will give to you. So this clearly sets out the rules that Jesus wants us to live by. Reading this reminds me of the mission of my school in Worcester, where we follow Jesus in all we do. This chapter is making it clear what is expected of us and how we need to behave. I want to refer to the part that I read about being reconciled with your brother before bringing a gift to God. When we present ourselves to God in prayer, we must be ready to admit our failings and to say sorry. Otherwise, we will be like a hypocrite, pretending that we are without sin. We all sin, but the beauty of this chapter is that although it says that we have clear rules to live by, if we make a mistake and break a rule, then Jesus will forgive us. And I want to explain this a little bit with a piece of string. So I want you to imagine that your relationship with God is like a piece of string. So I'll just cut the string there. And we've got heaven up here, and we've got you on the end here. And that's your relationship with God. When you sin or do something wrong, that relationship is broken until you say sorry and God forgives you. So let's imagine you've said sorry and God's forgiven you. And so therefore, you've mended your friendship with God. And all of a sudden, that piece of string has got a little bit shorter. So you've got a little bit closer to God. But you are going to sin again. We all do, don't we? We all do things wrong. And unfortunately, we do something wrong and the relationship's broken again. But we go to God and we ask for forgiveness and we say we're sorry. And what happens when I manage to get this knotted is that it's joined together again. And if you notice, look how much closer to God you're getting. And that keeps on going. So we're reminded that by doing wrong and by asking for forgiveness, Jesus will forgive us and we become closer to God in our relationship. So we're also reminded in this about being merciful and helping everyone, those who are our enemies or we don't know. A huge challenge, but maybe we can think about what we can do to help people in the world. And I know that when we're in school, we do a lot of work to help charities. And I bet that many of you at this time have helped other people. So I've heard of lots of good deeds being done around the world. So can you think of any that you've seen? These remind us that we're all God's children. We're told that God shines a light on all people, no matter who they are or where they come from. We live with that faith, knowing the right way to live and that God in his infinite mercy will forgive us. And with that forgiveness comes a closeness to God. Maybe this week We can think of how we can have been a light to others and how we can continue to be a light, and try to reach out to someone new this week and bring light to their life. So I just leave you with that thought, and I bless you all and thank you for listening.